My name is Vanessa.
My name is Devinn.
Hi, I'm Ashley Morgan.
Hi, I'm Roxy Pacheco.
I'm Heather.
I learned about consent from my mother. I don't know if it was consent, but just what's right and what's wrong, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. Because I was young, so I didn't know what the word consent meant. But she did explain to me what was appropriate and what was not appropriate. And if I felt uncomfortable about anything, I could go to her. And I feel like I learned stuff in Dare, but that was so long ago. I don't remember. Remember Dare? I think they talked about drugs and sex, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
I learned in sex ed. My parents are kind of like scared to talk to me about like anything involving like sex or whatever. But then one day my mom like sat me down. We had a serious talk about it. So from both sex ed and my mom.
Yeah, I guess I'm on a similar level as you. It was my mother. My mother taught me about what was and was not appropriate. I don't remember the words consent being used, but again, like if I had any issues, I could talk to her. If I felt uncomfortable, but not like no means no and yes means yes.
Right.
Yeah.
It was more the language that we understood.
Yeah.
I definitely never learned about consent. I was raised Christian, and my mom came from kind of like this sort of white trash kind of family, and she tried to bring me to the Bay Area and have me grow up a little differently, but I still went to a Christian school, and I still had like that kind of abstinence only sex ed where they showed you like horrific pictures of STDs but then didn't really explain anything to you. And one time my mom even told me that sex is not for recreation and it's only for procreation. So I had to learn those lessons the hard way.
I learned about consent through my parents and also by reading the DARE books in school. So that was really helpful, and definitely my parents, they always kept a close eye on us, especially my dad. He was always like, no boys, your date night is homework night.
My mother definitely did a great job of helping me understand what and was not appropriate, but I don't feel like that conversation told me enough about what consent actually was, like actually two people coming together to agree on an encounter that is going to happen and what that looks like and what that feels like and how it can be interpreted. And I don't know, I just, it's kind of trailing off. I'm sorry.
No,
I lost my train of thought. It's just, consent is a surprisingly difficult subject. I mean, it shouldn't be. It's a yes or no thing, but there's so much gray area that I feel like a lot of conversation needs to happen about it while people are young, while they're growing up.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, when I was little, it was like I thought that the only thing that was rape was if it was like violent and like it happened to you in a dark alleyway.
Yeah,
I had no idea that like if I got drunk, like, because that happened to me where I got drugged by somebody and I didn't tell anybody because I didn't think that that was wrong. I was just like, well, I maybe shouldn't have let him give me a drink. That's my fault, my bad. I had no idea. It took me up until like a couple of years ago to be like, oh, that's what consent is. Like, that's not okay. Because, being raised in a sheltered environment, they don't really teach you like that gray area at all. And I feel like we're just starting to like learn about it. Like this generation is just starting to figure out that like that stuff isn't okay.
Especially with rape culture and like that story that just came out about the swimmer.
Yeah.
Like that's not okay. That's not. She's drunk. She's passed out. That's not consent. And then how it just gets blown over.
Yeah.
Like that's not okay. And then the other women, they think, well, maybe if I wasn't drinking, that wouldn't have happened to me. No. No matter what you wear, no matter what state you're in, that doesn't mean someone can just forcibly have sex with you. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it needs to be explained more. I know some people feel like it's inappropriate to talk to children, but kids are kissing and touching at a young age these days, and they're exposed to so many things. So the more and the younger and more education you can give them when they grow up, then they'll know what is appropriate, what is consent, not just the word consent, but what it actually means, and the different circumstances. Like if you're at a party, or if you're in a club, or if you're at a friend's house, or in movies, like there's different situations and how that applies.
And also just only talking about what is and what is not appropriate. Like some things that I went through, I'm like, oh, it wasn't appropriate. I can't talk to my mom about it. Even though she said that I could, it's still like, it doesn't register in your brain as this thing happened to me. I was raped and it's appropriate to talk about. It's appropriate to communicate what you experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing how much conversation is happening about this. Why is it so debated?
I think it's because there's this deep shame with it because we live in this kind of culture. Like, have you guys seen the tea video? I think it's like a British video where they're talking about drinking tea, and that's a metaphor for consent, about how like you don't pour tea down an unconscious person's throat. Like they didn't tell you they want tea, so you don't know if they want it or not. Yeah. And it's such a simple thing that they do there. It's just like a commercial that's on TV. We don't want to talk about that in America, and I think that's the big like American culture problem is that we can't just break it down in simple terms like that and educate people.
Like what Joe Biden said. Did you guys watch that video? He was like, as a man, a Caucasian man, to get up and be like, no, why do you not understand this? If they cannot say yes, it is rape. Yes is yes, no is no. And to have, like, he was so passionate about it. It's really good.
Yeah, honestly, consent and respect really goes hand in hand. And like you said, no really does mean no. And that's what we need to teach our kids about, having respect and compassion towards others and just respecting others' personal space and privacy and rights, and teaching them right from wrong, and that no is no, yes is yes.
Yeah, I like what you said about if they can't say no, then it's no.
Yeah.
If you ask them and they're just unconscious or can't talk, that's no. It's not, oh, well, maybe they would have said yes if they were alive or like awake or no, you can't make that decision for somebody.
The other part of it that's like just starting to come up that is important to me is consenting to every single step of the process. Like a lot of men seem to think that like they can't check in with you and say like, is it okay if I do this because it will kill the mood? And I recently had an incident where a guy slapped me in the face and didn't ask, and then he was like, well, it wouldn't be sexy if I asked, and I knew you'd like it. And then he was on Facebook like posting stuff about like how horrible the Brock Turner thing was, and I just had to call him out and be like,
you slapped me in my face.
You slapped me and you didn't ask. Like, that's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
And we need to talk about that like, asking for consent is not unsexy. Like, there's a way to do it. Like, and it's still hot. And I think that's something men don't understand, is that it doesn't have to be unsexy.
Right.
Like, women think asking for consent is actually sexy. If you do it right, it's hot.
Right, especially I think guys think too if they've kissed you, that automatically means that you want to have sex with them.
Exactly.
No, it doesn't. No, it does not mean that I want you to have sex with me. Maybe I just wanted to kiss you. Maybe I wanted to kiss you, then get to know you better. And if I felt like having sex with you, then I would. You know, like.
But you hugged me, you kissed me.
Right.
Come on, you touched my arm.
Right. No, you looked at me sexy. No, I wasn't looking at you sexy. I was looking behind you.
There was actually a cake right behind
us. I saw pizza and I was like, hey.
Yes.
Yeah, like I don't know if you guys, I'm such a weird, I don't know if you guys do like online dating or anything, but like going out on these dates, guys are automatically like, oh yeah, we're gonna hook up. And I'm like, no, I want to get to know you. I don't want to go to your house. I don't want to go to a bar. I don't want to go to a house. I don't want to go to your bar. I want to go to the zoo or go to a park or go somewhere out where there's people where we can talk and not just get drunk and hook up. So it's really frustrating for me. I mean, older guys like to have fun, but I feel like for them, since they are older, they've either already been married or they don't know how they feel about being married because now they've been single for so long. They don't know, they have this pressure of getting married because all their friends are getting married, their parents are pressuring them, so they feel pressured and it makes them just not want to do it at all. So for me, it's like, well, I mean, I don't know how to get on the same page as these people because I do want to be married, but I don't want to feel like I'm, being skipped over because they feel pressured about something or they aren't comfortable or they don't know for sure, and I'm just sitting here waiting until they figure it out. And I don't feel like that's fair.
When, as a woman, you get to feel powerful in a sexual situation, it's a huge turn on. And you are going to respect that man so much more because you know you're respected and cared for. And it's really fucking hot. To be like, like to say the word.
Yeah, that's what we need to start training men as they grow up is, you know, asking permission is hot. Like, just do it. Like, it makes women feel good. It makes it so much better for you when you just give her the power to say yes.
Wait, you value what I think about this situation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
There are a lot of just casual jokes about rape and about horrible things in certain social groups it happens, and we're all here just to hang out and have fun. I'm not gonna put you down or be that girl that's like, actually, I was raped.
Yeah, that's I do it all the time because I just like I got into a point where like I can't hold it back, and that's part of why I like dating older guys is because I like educating people, because usually people are open and receptive. Like once I tell them like I've been through this, it happened to me, then all of a sudden they see things differently, because a lot of times they haven't met somebody that got drugged and got raped. So once they hear the story, they go, oh, you're right, like that's not fair, like that shouldn't be a thing you have to worry about.
And sometimes, like, I have family members that are really close to me. They weren't even drugged, and they were raped by friends, like friends' siblings. Or sometimes it doesn't have to be drugs or alcohol. It can just be crazy people that think that that's okay. They think it's funny, and they think, like, taking advantage of someone is you know, they don't, I think when people do that, they don't think about the longevity and how that affects the other person. Like, I hate to bring up the swimmer again, but in his mind, he does not think that he did anything wrong. He doesn't know the long-lasting effect he has on this woman, that she will never, ever look at life the same. And I think people think, oh, they're drunk, like they'll get over it, they'll sober up and act like it never happened. And that's not true. It doesn't go away for those people, ever.
Yep, I was raped when I was 18, and I'm 29 now, and it 100% dictates, like, my dating life. Like,
You'll never forget
No,
that.
it affects you hard. I
Yeah.
know, I agree, like, there doesn't have to be alcohol or drugs involved, because, I myself, I haven't told anybody this, but, like, I was taken advantage of and raped at one point, and it just makes you feel like crap. Like, you feel like shit. It's like you don't want anybody to ever just look at you, touch you ever again. And I don't think like it's a generation thing. Cause I feel like some young guys like know, and older guys, but then some young guys, it's like the way they're raised nowadays, like the double standard thing. Like guys think they can do whatever they want because they're guys. So they're just like, well, I want to fuck, so I'm going to fuck, you know? And it's disgusting.
It's the toxic masculinity thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's more cultural than generational. That a lot of people that weren't born in America, like sometimes other countries, they don't think like that. Like in Europe, like they talk about consent.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's other countries that definitely have it much worse than we do, but it's just like different cultures talk about it.
Sex is
differently.
really open in Europe.
Yeah.
It's really, and that's
It
why
is.
different things it's different over there, because it's not, like in America it's like frowned upon if you talk about sex. And it's like, no, maybe if we talked about it, people understand it better and they'd know what's right and what's wrong.
I agree.